In this lesson, we're going to solve right triangles. We're going to have two different scenarios. This one, we're given an angle and a side. Doesn't matter what side. This one happens to be the hypotenuse. And we're going to use SOHCAHTOA and Pythagorean theorem to kind of help us figure out what all the missing pieces are. So let's begin by, we're going to figure out what side A. Side A is across from angle A. We use lowercase letters to name sides, uppercase to name angles or points. So we need to figure out those two angles. Here's the right angle is C, and we're missing this. So we're in degrees, minutes, and seconds. So first thing is, you can figure out what angle B is right away, but we'll kind of hold that off until the very end. Let's figure out, let's say we're going to do angle A, or side A. So if we're going to solve side A, we're going to be dealing with opposite and hypotenuse are the two measurements that we have from this angle. So we're going to set up our equation as sine 53 degrees, 24 minutes is going to equal opposite over hypotenuse. So to solve this, we're going to clear out our fraction. So we're going to multiply by 387.1 on both sides. So that undoes your division, cancels away the fraction. So we're going to be typing that into the calculator. Make sure you're in degrees, and then you're going to press the angle button right above apps that has the degrees in minutes. So we type that into the calculator. That gets us 310.77 for our side A. Okay, so there's that length. Now, what I could do at this point is I have now two sides, and I can use Pythagorean theorem to figure that out. The danger in that is using a value that you just found. So if that value is wrong, it guarantees that to be wrong. So I try to avoid that. So I go back to the original and go, all right, I know these two values are sure. Maybe I'm hoping I got that one right, but let's just reuse these. So if I reuse these, I'm going to use cosine in order to figure this one out. So cosine of 53 degrees, 24 minutes equals B over 387.1. All right, same kind of thing. We're going to clear out our fraction. So if we multiply both sides by 387.1, that goes away, and it gets us B by itself. So B is going to equal 230.80. Okay, so we'd be plugging that into a calculator, and here's our two values. Now, if you really want to know you're right, do Pythagorean theorem with this. So you could do b squared plus a squared, add that together, and it should equal the hypotenuse squared. Now, it's going to be close because we have some rounding that happened to get there, but it should be really, really close. Last piece we're missing is angle B. So angle B is going to equal, all triangles make 180. 90 degrees is already spoken for, so between these two we have 90 degrees left. So we could take 90 minus 53 degrees, 24 minutes. And by all means, you could use your calculator for this. You'd have to do 53 degrees, 24 minutes. However, your calculator is going to give you a decimal version, so then you have to convert it back into minutes and seconds. And if you did, you get angle B equaling 36 degrees, 36 minutes. All right, so we have one more. And so one real quick check is, this is the smallest angle. This should be the smallest side, and that ends up being exactly the way it looks. All right, we got one last. So if we have this triangle, we don't have anything about the angle, so we're going to do Pythagorean theorem to figure this out. So 39.3 squared plus 76.4 squared is going to equal little c, because we're missing little c. So little c squared. If we add that together, we're going to have to square root both sides. So c squared is going to equal 7381.45. If you add that together, we'll square root both sides. So c equals 85.9. All right, so then we're going to figure out our angles. So let's say we want to do angle A. It does not matter. So if we do angle A, we're going to set this up as, again, I'm going to try to avoid using C. So I'm going to set this up using these two. That's going to be tangent of A because it's opposite and adjacent. So tangent of A equals 76.4 over 39.3. And then in our calculator, we would be doing the inverse tangent of 76.4 divided by 39.3. So angle A is going to equal 63.78 degrees, or depending upon what the directions are asking, 63 degrees 47 minutes. Let me double check the math on that one. So inverse tangent of 76.4 divided by 39.3 gets us 72. I thought that might be, or 62.7. Okay, so that's angle A. So 62.78. And then to figure this out, we'll take 90 minus. So again, we'll just put that in the calculator. And if you do 90 minus this, you'll get 27.22 degrees, or 27 degrees 13 minutes if we use degrees, minutes, and seconds. All right, so again, just a quick spot check. If this is 27.22, that should be the smallest angle, smallest side, smallest angle, medium side, medium angle, and that should be the largest side, largest angle. So 85.9 is the biggest, so it should be the hypotenuse. All right, and that was solving a right triangle. Thanks.